Now, this here is a good example of one of the reasons why we slab books, and that's just to preserve them. Now, back then they couldn't slab this book. This book came out in 1982, but it's been very well loved, very well read, and yeah, it's got a ton of wear in it. I paid $150 for this book. Now, you might be looking and going, why the heck did you pay $150 for this? It's got a tear, and it's got all that wear. I mean, the a press is only going to make it, look a little bit more decent, but it's not gonna affect it as much, I don't think, as I mean, how many grades could it possibly go up? I would say in its current grade, it's also got some staining a little bit, right? A lot of dirt. But its current grade, the back actually is not so bad. It's always the front, right? In most comics anyway, right? It's always almost like the front. Back doesn't look that bad. Actually, not bad at all for the back. In its current condition, I would say this is probably, like, if I were to send it out right now and get it graded, maybe a 4, 3.5, maybe. I would say a 4. I think it'll pass for a 4 to a 4.5. What makes this book, and I don't really count pages because I count the pages myself, but not on camera because I only have one hand to work with, and I don't like damaging books. But I just want to show you guys this, right? So that's the one thing that you're not going to see in these videos is me counting pages, because I don't have anybody taping. But this is the reason why I paid $150. It's because it's a jeweler's. Now, I would say jewelers are probably the rarest. Now, why are they so coveted? It's just the fact that there are less marked jewelers than there are, whether you like it or not. There's a lot of people that don't like, I don't know, just things in general, right? They don't like slabbing. They don't like pressing, right? There's a lot of people everybody's different, man. So if you don't like it, then don't buy marked jewelers. But the fact is that there are collectors for marked jewelers, and they pay a premium for marked jewelers. I paid a premium for it. Not a book that I plan to keep, but there are a lot of He-Man fans out there. This is the first appearance of He-Man, as you know. So I do plan on selling this one. Most of the books that you're going to see, and these are going to be sold. We'll see what Kendra can get this. What can he possibly do with this? I would say, I mean, I'll be happy if this returns to me at a 5.5. I'll be very surprised. So we'll see what happens. I was unsure about what kind of grade bump I would get on this book, only because of the existing issues. We had the blunt corner here. We got existing color breaking ticks. You got the tear on the right hand side. You got the creases that are color breaking, and the creases on the bottom here. Most of the issues on this book were in the front cover. Back cover, we had some minor issues, and I think Kendra pretty much took care of most of them. That back looks pretty decent, man. I couldn't really find anything aside from what the book already had existing, like that corner. But overall, gotta say, it just looks a lot more presentable. It came back as a 4.5. Good thing, white pages. Good thing, marked jewelers. Looks very presentable, man. Very presentable. The rest of these books, they were in this submission as well. We got, this is actually Rob Liefeld. It's a 1 in 50. I just like the cover. I got this off of eBay. Came back at a 9.8. Not bad. Not bad. No? Pretty good. Custom labels. CGC is gonna... They're gonna raise their prices again. Not good for the moderns, actually. I mean, it destroys their modern market pretty much, because even the custom labels. Who's gonna get custom labels now? $8 a custom label. You got to be kidding me, dude. No, nobody's getting custom labels. I mean, unless you got a real vintage book. But they're pretty much killing the custom labels with that price of $8 a label. It's already, for moderns, it's like already, you're already thinking, should I get it or shouldn't I? Yeah, it looks good. It looks really good with the custom label, but probably not going to be doing custom labels anymore unless it's a real huge book. Got this one right here. Came back on 9.8. It was nice. Classic cover, Jim Lee. Not bad. I got some more covers from Stevens. I thought this would be 9.8. I got this one on eBay also. Not a book you see a lot. Orbit number 1. And you know what? I'll show you guys the spawns. As a speculator, you've seen me take a ton of risks here in this channel. This was one of them. I paid top dollar for these. These are spawn number 1. There's a ton of these. Okay, graded also in a 9.8. In the direct market, there's so many 9.8s, but there's people still want them. It's a very highly coveted book. You kind of have to get like a 9.6 or a 9.8 on it, depending on the price that you get the book, though. Sometimes, getting a 9.0 on a spawn number 1 is probably not even going to cover your grading costs. So it's imperative you get like a 9.6 or a 9.8. Also, another thing to know is these spawn number 1s, there's a printing error in half of the print run. So there's no big deal on that printing error because it's like 50-50. That's on the back of the cover, by the way. Now, the deals that I made, in total, it was like $500 for 2 newsstands and 2 regulars, plus some Spawn comics. That one was part of it, number 3. That got a 9.6, but I had it graded because it was a newsstand, and I thought this would make a 9.8. I actually still think that's grading is subjective, but saying that it has a light bend in the bottom right corner, I don't see it, but that's what CGC says about this. This would have been a game changer for me if this would have reached the 9.8, because this is close to a $200 book in a 9.8. But because it's a modern, once you get to the 9.6, man, the price drops big time. I'll be lucky if I get maybe $70 to $75, maybe on that. Okay, even at a 9.6 in a newsstand. These though, 9.8s are they're still pretty, people still want them, people still covet them. So these won't be so bad, obviously, but this was the gamble. The gamble was that one of these two was going to be a 9.8, and it just didn't pay off. It was, they're both 9.6s, and just with the grading fee and the pressing fee, I had CCS press these because I didn't think they needed much. They were, all of them, Sand said they were near mint, and they certainly were near mint, by the way. They are near mint. It's just that I didn't get the 9.8s. I actually got these books from him as well. in a different lot. This is going to be a loss because this book dropped in price dramatically. Even for the 9.8, this book dropped in price. And then this one is actually still not so bad because you don't see that many of these around. So this one, even at a 9.6, this will still go for like $130. But because of the grading fees and what I paid, it's going to end up being a loss for both of these. But with the Spawn, because of that, I guess I might just wet my beak just a little bit, but not enough for me to say that it was worth the shot. But that's the way it goes. You know, that's the way it goes. You speculate, and that's the gamble. The gamble did not pay off. The gamble was to get one of these two in the 9.8, not two of these. I would rather prefer one 9.8 on these, and then make these like 9.6s or 9.4s even, and it would have paid off. I still have a shot. Maybe if McFarlane grades, there is one flaw on these. It's right there. You see that? Right by the number 1. And it didn't come out. It doesn't break color. And I've seen 9.8s with that same flaw, man. As a matter of fact, I've seen 9.8s with color breaking sometimes in that flaw. There's another. This one has the same thing right there, right by the 1. See, yeah, but it doesn't break color enough to make it a 9.6. I don't know what to do. Should I wait for a McFarlane signing and send it to CGC, have them press it, have him sign it? I might do that. I'm not sure, but that's adding more cost also. And say if they come back 9.4s, then I'm screwed, because these signings are pretty expensive. But either way, look, only reason I'm showing these is you gotta know what price to buy them at. If you think a book is near mint, for sure, if you want to take a gamble on it, maybe pay a 9.4 price. This way it leaves you a little bit of wiggle room between a 9.6, and if you get a 9.8, then it's you're in the clear, right? But I paid pretty much a 9.6 price for these, and a 9.4 price for these, sort of, right? All right, later.